Apparently, the only way to get on MTV is to either be a corporate rock puppet or to have to stand out in the rain like a ridiculous fool.
What the hell is going on?
You tell me. I would not expect any less confusion from this rinky-dink little channel like MTV.
Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you that there are some things that you just can't blame on the rain.
Turn it on, leave it on.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
MTV and the WWE have had a long-standing partnership going all the way back to the rock and wrestling connection in the 80s. The addition of rock and later rap music into wrestlers' entrances completely changed the energy surrounding wrestling matches, adding to the over-the-top spectacle of shows as a whole. It was because of this success that MTV and the WWE would come together for quite a few projects, including Sunday Night Heat, and later the original 3 seasons of Tough Enough. But what if I told you that those latter 2 projects might never have happened if not for the WWE's own competition? It's early 1998. Not only has WCW been running roughshod over ratings, attendance, and sales thanks to the popularity of the NWO, but the Fed had just lost Bret Hart, and they were in dire need of a rebrand and an attitude adjustment. Not that kind. Well, with everything going WCW's way over the last 2 years, the land where the big boys play, we're hoping to score another big win by capturing that MTV audience that saved McMahon and company so many years ago. WCW and MTV came together for a 3-hour crossover, an outdoor show featuring live musical guests, vignettes featuring real-life rivalries amongst musicians.
It's also... Courtney Love is in dire need of attention right now.
As well as an in-ring single elimination tournament to crown the winner of the very first WCW MTV Championship, not to be confused with the WCW TV Championship. The obvious hope here was to expand on the NWO's success grabbing edgy rebellious teens by doing this on a popular non-Turner network. But there is a reason you never hear about this show when the Monday Night Wars come up, so... Today, in wrestling history, May 9th, 1998, WCW and MTV presents the Ultimate Music Video Feud, also known amongst fans as the Ultimate Video Bash, even though the logo, the canvas, the hosts, and the credits all use the word feud. Well, the whole thing really should have been called WCW's Day That Everything Went Wrong. To start, New York was hit with a full weekend of powerful rainstorms, and it doesn't take a genius to know heavy rain and wind don't make for a great outdoor experience. To make sure that this event was going to be hot and wild, WCW aimed to fill the outdoor skating rink to capacity by giving away 2,000 free tickets, meaning the official gate for the event was already going to be 0 in the best situation. But the number of rabid WCW fans who actually turned up was closer to about 100, and by the end of the show, 40. The biggest music-related guest to actually appear would probably be their in-ring host Carson Daly, and he clearly wasn't very comfortable with the role.
I don't know what just happened. Some people are hurt. Kidman and Raven's down here. Are you okay, Raven?
Now don't get me started on big wrestling names. There was no Sting, no Hogan, no Giant, no Goldberg. Kevin Nash and Chris Benoit were supposed to be a part of this show, but they quite smartly skipped it. And I don't know if I've conveyed this enough, but this is a wrestling show outdoors in the rain. Ah boy. So the first match of the night was an ECW-style tag team brawl featuring High Voltage representing Will Smith. Wait, what? Yeah, I guess before I start proper, I should point out that the wrestler-artist pairings didn't make the most sense. You'd get combos like Glacier representing Pearl Jam for some reason, going up against Raven, who's representing Courtney Love's Hole. Not that one. Even though Raven's finisher was literally called the Even Flow. You'd also get Katie Vick's brother Sick Boy Scott repping David Bowie of all people.
Here we've got Sick Boys representing David Bowie. Now David Bowie is one of the most original people in music.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
What's he done?
But I digress. High Voltage, who had to tell fans at home why Will Smith is the greatest, would take on Public Enemy, who are representing LL Cool J, and granted Mama Said Knock You Out was a great-ass song, why the hell wasn't Public Enemy representing Public Enemy? I mean, He Got Game just came out. The match was very short, and you could tell everybody sort of just gave up, because in about 90 seconds, Flyboy Rocco Rock scored the pinfall on the floor. Just like that, Will Smith is out, LL Cool J advances, I guess. Now before I move forward, I do need to convey something. The first match of this scheduled 3-hour event went 90 seconds long. Do you want to know how much wrestling there was throughout the entire show? Come on, guess. The answer is 90 seconds. This wasn't just the first match of the show, this ended up being the main event because the rain was not letting up for anybody. From this point on, there would be no wrestling save for an attack here or there, but the show must go on. So MTV opted to make the rest of this tournament decided by popular vote through 1-900 numbers. And yes, I've called them already, they don't work anymore. But I do have a sneaking suspicion here, and that suspicion was that these calls, they weren't legit. More on that later, I promise. There's very little to say about a lot of this show. Wrestlers would come out, some of them in gear, some of them smart enough not to. They'd stand in the ring talking about how their musician is better than their opponent's musician, just like how they're better than their opponent.
I'm gonna stomp some butt on behalf of my boys, Run DMC, because they're the greatest.
And then after their respective music videos would play. But they still found a way to make it completely unwatchable. From the WCW side, we got such gems as freezing his nipples off Ultimo Dragon versus Billy Kidman, where they both forgot who they're supposed to represent and then recommended that people vote for the other one.
Representing Madonna, it's Kidman. Actually, I made a little mistake and I'd like to clear that up. Kidman is actually representing Salt and Pepper, okay? Now up next, it's Ultimo Dragon representing Madonna.
Salt and pepper to the top, number 1.
Madonna, talk about Madonna. You're going to take on Salt and Pepper here in Kidman.
Yes. Salt and pepper.
All right, very good. Kidman.
I'm representing Madonna.
We got wrestlers who realized that if their artist lost, then they could get out of the rain and collect their paycheck.
But let me get this straight. If I lose this round, I can leave now? So vote for Madonna.
We even got a moment when Macho Man flat out called bullshit on the whole thing.
Metallica rocks. They're the bomb, brother. One hip, and how'd they get beat?
Well, we've got people at home watching. They got to hit that 900 number and vote for their favorite band or their favorite wrestler.
On the MTV side, we got lessons in why you don't put a live mic in front of a rowdy wrestling crowd.
Are you happy that Madonna won?
Yes, I love Madonna. She's fucking...
We got obvious vote tampering so that the pre-taped segments that they had planned made sense. Because no way in hell Cannabis beat Run DMC and LL Cool J in '98. No way in hell. Even more egregious though than the vote tampering during these music videos were the music videos. See, I grew up when MTV, and up in Canada Much Music, actually played music videos. It was actually a rather pleasant experience to have MTV on in the background while playing games or doing homework so that you could look up when an artist you like was on and then stop to watch the video for a few minutes. You know what ruins that whole experience though? Somebody walking in and changing the channel back and forth every 20 seconds while telling you that one song is better than the other. And that's exactly how WCW and MTV played this out.
You only see what your eyes want to see.
Can you imagine the same two music videos playing, just cutting into each other every 20 seconds? I mean, I like Van Halen, but I never want to hear Without You ever again, since I had to hear this song in clip form 4 times over. And also, the songs. Oh god, the songs. Of all the artists in this tournament, do you know how many of them actually made the Billboard Top 100? 2, Madonna and Will Smith, and they didn't even play the Will Smith one. Ultimately, see what I did there? WCW and MTV both realized how badly this was going and called another audible. Between the poor weather, the lack of matches, the restless audience who on more than one occasion just began hijacking it, who not only wasn't at the event, but at the same time was being sued by WCW for no showing. Huh, seems familiar. Anyway, since WCW no longer had an hour of wrestling to showcase, MTV just pulled the plug early, ending the Ultimate music video feud in just under 2 hours and canceling the late night replay entirely. Both sides of this partnership opted to pretend this whole thing never happened, took a mulligan, and tried again in January with WCW and MTV's Snow Brawl before parting ways. The big pro wrestling companies learned lessons from this show though. especially when it came to weather, successfully managing to avoid the rain until WrestleMania 37 in 2021. Oh, and DDP won the belt, by the way. Like anybody really paid attention. And there you have it, WCW's Ultimate Music Video Feud on MTV, and holy crap did this thing suck. Like, I laughed through a lot of it, yeah, but I also had to get up and take breaks. A lot. Especially during Madonna vs. Salt and Peppa. The whole debacle was filled with wrestlers who didn't want to be there, announcers who didn't want to be there, wrestling fans in attendance who got no wrestling.
Who are you rooting for? The Canadian crippler, Chris Benoit.
And music fans watching at home who got no music. The way they had the songs just mash into each other was so jarring and made the whole experience worse. I bet the original plan was play one song in full, play another song in full, and then have the match, but Jesus, this was not the compromise they needed. Just left everybody all wet. Now, this is all just my opinion though, and I want to know, what do you think? Was this a good idea, just executed badly? Or were WCW and MTV better off to just shelve the whole concept entirely? Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, because I want you to be a part of this conversation too. For now though, I better get my shoulders off the mat, so thank you for tuning in to Jobbed Out. I'll catch you next time.